Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now let's talk a little boxing. But first, I'll tell you something. NBA playoffs, best they can possibly be under the circumstances. I'll tell you something about them Clippers. Clipper curse is real. Mess around with them if you want to. We was up 3-1 against Houston a few years back. Should have went. We should have went at least to the Western Conference Finals. You had Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, you put DeAndre Jordan in the middle, and a whole lot of nice role players. Shoot, Jamal Crawford and them boys, right? It should have happened then. Clipper curse is real. After that, injuries, it was never got close again. You got them boys down 3-1 and let them come back from 16 points. Be careful. We know that Kawhi Leonard is trying to do something awesome, right? Goes to Toronto, a team that never won nothing, takes them to the final, breaks camp. Goes to the Clippers who ain't never won nothing and got a curse hanging over their head and trying to break that curse. Let's see what happens. Be very interesting these next two games because nervousness is about to kick in. It's not the only thing going on in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of stuff. We got the Greek Freak up out of there already. And, Milwaukee has a good team. That keeps happening, right? Keeps happening. But like I said, I don't want to go too far into it. But you got to play through Brook Lopez. When they put the wall up for your boy Giannis, he's not a real great outside shooter yet. But so what? He's still awesome and should be MVP. Period for those stats in 30 minutes. You're the MVP of the regular season. Playoffs is a different thing. When they adjust, you have a low post scorer in your boy Brook Lopez. You got him out there shooting only threes, which is ridiculous because the NBA only wants that. But you go down to that boy. He's going to make some mistakes because he's clumsy, but he's going to score a whole lot and make them free throws and probably get your boy Adebayo in a little foul trouble trying to defend him. But if Adebayo ain't got to do nothing to go out there and fake contest a three-point shot, he's never going to get in foul trouble. And Adebayo is a facilitator also on their team. He's important. You got to go through Brook Lopez. Can't tell him. Tried to. Gave my band a call. He didn't answer my call. Said, "No, I ain't gonna get with you. I know what I'm doing." I said, "All right, then. See what happens." And then we kind of try to say, "Oh, well, Giannis is not this and he's not that." Giannis is all that you can be at 6'11". All that. All this just because he's not a great shooter stuff. I ain't buying that. The NBA is trying to get people to shoot since the last 15, 20 years, right? Because shooting is not athletic. But y'all don't really feel me, though. Let me go to boxing before I start ranting about basketball. Listen. This might be a rant though. Sorry. The welterweight division you had last week. Your boy Yordenis Ugas. He beat Abel Ramos, right? And he's the the WBA welterweight champ, right? WBA welterweight champ. I'm seeing articles now. People, say, wait a minute, man. He's the regular champ. That's not the real championship. The articles going in on him. Hey, man, that can't be the real championship. The real champion is Manny Pacquiao. He's the one who beat Keith Thurman for the real championship. You know something? You're right. But why in the hell are you noticing now? Is it irked you? Because the article was going in and a few others. Because Ugas was celebrating. I'm the champ, man. He was celebrating, getting to celebrate on. They got a little irked by that, right? So join the party of irkness, right? Who's been irked for a long damn time about these regular champions, right? Now all of a sudden Ugas get one, and now we irked by it, right? Regular hasn't meant nothing the whole time, but we's getting prop. When Pacquiao was the same champion, we was talking. When you see Pacquiao's name in the article, he was the WBA champion. Got Keith Thurman standing over there as the champion. Just call him Super, but you call him Pacquiao the champion instead of the regular in front of his name. Pacquiao was the regular champion too. Now Pacquiao's a legend. It don't matter, but it does. You don't call him that. First of all, we shouldn't have champions anyway. But we're getting irked, and so I'm checking that out. Now we irked because Ugas is a regular champion. He's the regular champion. Yes, Pacquiao is the real champion. But barely in my eyes because he didn't take a dope test versus Keith Thurman. Now I don't know how the hell we talking boxing. Pacquiao did not take a dope test versus Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman took the fight anyway because, hey, you better get that money and shut up. PBC let that fight go down because it's Manny Pacquiao. They shouldn't have, right? But it's a whole lot of money. It's easy for me to say, hey, man, everybody forget that Pacquiao know how to take a dope test and he shouldn't fight. Everybody's like, excuse me, you're not making all these millions. Back off. I got it. Understand that. But at the end of the day, what's right is right. How is a fighter fighting in 2019, right? And don't have to take a dope test and nobody's talking about it? Well, that's kind of how the world works right now. But oh wait, but Pacquiao technically is the real champion. Ugas isn't, but he's celebrating because that was what Pacquiao was, right? And it goes a little further than that, right? Listen, you have your boy Canelo Alvarez, who they call a four-division champion, right? But Rory Fielding was a regular champion at 168. Rory Fielding is a little bit less, how would you say, less respected than your boy Ugas. Ugas, you got the top 5 or 6 welterweights, and right after that is Ugas, right? It's not really the same with Roy Fielding. I think he's a little bit better than Roy Fielding, but not much, because Roy Fielding does have a win over Tyrone Soiga, who was also the regular champion, but Tyrone Soiga got a few skills, and Roy Fielding took care of him. So, props for that, but he's not considered one of the top 5 super middleweights, right? And Canelo Alvarez beat him to get the regular championship, which means nothing, like we say. So if regular means nothing, then Canelo is a 3-division champion, guys. 3, not 4. But they want that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. This is what keeps happening. Regular means nothing. And I always give you an example. If you want to say who's the heavyweight champion, the WBA regular heavyweight champion, Manuel Char. Is Emmanuel Char in any of your top 5 heavyweights or top 10 heavyweights? He's not. So let me repeat. Either Ugas is a real champion or Canelo is not a 4-division champion. And see, this is how you keep going on. The stuff goes on. And I've told you it was going to happen. That's why they do this on purpose. They have all these championships. I told you in every division there's 10 champions at least, right? In every division. So we got 4 divisions that count, sanctioned bodies that count. And then you got 2 more coming in the back door with the IBO and the IBA. That would give us 6, right? Now you got this one here, the WBA regular, is 7, right? And then they also have a gold, is 8. Somebody, WBO, has a global, right? It's 9 and something else. Now I'm forgetting right now. I'm not talking interim either. It's something else popping off. It's a whole lot of champions out there, right? And that's what the problem is. Now you have, excuse me, the one I'm about to talk about now, franchise, right? The WBC made that up last year because Canelo had to fight Charlo, right? Now Canelo is suing right now because they want him to have hard fights. If he would have fought Charlo when he was your mandatory, that would not exist right now. But he didn't want to fight Charlo. WBC helps him, gives him a new belt called the franchise, and makes sure that there's nothing that anybody can do. You can't fight for the franchise. We just give him this so he can do whatever the hell he wants. That's almost a quote, guys. Basically, whatever the hell he wants, he doesn't have to fight his mandatory anymore. He's above boxing. He can go to any division and fight whoever the hell he wants to, right? They didn't say, hey, you go fight somebody hard, make the hard fights. No. Basically, whoever the hell he wants to. And you see it by the people he's trying to fight, like a Yildirim right now. So, but here's the point. Because he gave him the franchise and they gave Charlo the real WBC belt, that's not what the articles are saying. I've caught articles calling Charlo a regular champion. Charlo ain't never fought for no damn regular belt. Matter of fact, regular belt doesn't even exist in the WBC. That's a WBA thing. But the dudes writing them articles nowadays trying to call Charlo a regular. The guy who worked his way up to get the fight, the other guy drops the belt and gives it to him, which means it's his belt, the real belt. Now they call him regular. You understand? That's how they turn it around quick. And a casual fan will fall for that. Right? Same thing with Lomachenko when he asked. He was supposed to fight Devin Haney, was his mandatory. He asked for the franchise belt. He said, what did y'all give Canelo? Give me that. Ask for it, right? Which should have cost him points right there. Ask for it, right? So that means so he can go fight Lopez. Not a bad fight, him and Lopez, Teofimo and Lopez, right? Lomachenko. But now the people are calling it an undisputed fight. It is not an undisputed fight. That it would be the winner of that has to fight Devin Haney because he's the real WBC champion. But they're trying to go around it. They make these franchise, meaning y'all don't have to fight nobody hard, but we're going to call their next fights undisputed. Right? Well, not Canelo, because he ain't trying to get undisputed and fight nobody hard anyway. So that's different. But Lomachenko at least trying to fight Lopez. Right? Canelo ain't fighting no Andrade or Charlo or nothing else. In the other any division, he ain't fighting the hardest guy. He's trying to sue so he can go fight Yildirim with somebody else, and the PBC was about to sign him up and probably let him fight Yildirim. Which is don't do that either, right? What you do is you hail them brothers who've been fighting hard and make Canelo say, well, if you come here, you got to fight a Charlo or Andrade too, right? And when it comes to Canelo, they just be mentioning names, people from England and stuff, Billy Joe Saunders. Why would we mention Billy Joe Saunders? He made the mistake talking about how to beat up a girlfriend. He was dope when he was supposed to fight Demetrius Andrade in the first place. He was dope. The second time they were supposed to fight at the weight that he can't make 160 no more. So at 168, Demetrius wanted to fight him there. Something happened with Billy Joe Saunders again, right? So and he was been suspended. So why do we want that guy, the one who can't fight Demetrius Andrade, who was doped? And acting a fool on the internet. Why do we want him? Why do we want Callum Smith? You can't even bring nobody to the States, right? They're in England somewhere. Why are we talking about those people in articles and stuff? Why? Right? That's because how boxing is like it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Don't mention Callum and Billy Joe. No one wants to see them. Stop telling us what we want to see. Right? Even Golovkin. No one wants to see that. Golovkin doesn't want to fight Charlo either or Andrade. They've both been begging him to fight for years now. He was mandated to fight Charlo. Didn't want to do it. Just told him straight up, I ain't doing that. Now, how many times that has to happen? And then you go say, what? We think we want to fight, watch the people who don't want to fight Charlo and Andrade? We want to see them fight again? No, we don't. We want to see them fight after they fight these two guys. And then whoever comes out and crystals themselves as the best, then we want to see that. That's what the boxing consumer wants to see. Not any radicals, not any racists, and all of that. Those people are really out there. America needs an overhaul from the Constitution all the way up. Got to remember, it was founded by the scum of Europe. It wasn't the best people from Europe. And that is just working its way back up right now. If they could have slavery again, they would. It's the scum of Europe. Europe don't want them back. Talking about telling everybody else to go home. Try to tell some of them people to go home. Nobody want them. Shoot, they'd be like, no, y'all stay over there and do that stuff on your porch. Don't want nobody around. Nobody wants that, right? It needs an overhaul. Those kind of people can't be helped. Forget them, whatever with them. And stop trying to move around them. Like, oh, it's the suburbs when you go move around some people like that. The hell that is suburb. I don't live around you. Somebody, you do too. Don't let me get started. Bottom line is, it needs an overhaul. And boxing is a mirror of that, right? It just needs an overhaul. An overhaul. If you're corrupt, then you're going to be the one in charge, right? People who want these kind of things that I'm talking about right here, that keeps moving the bar, the goalpost somewhere else every time it gets close. Every time a brother is supposed to get his just due, then we got something else popping off. Who would want a franchise title for those guys? Why? For what? Right? Who would want that? Who would not want undisputed fights? Who don't want to see the best in the division? It's always the same type of person. It really is. So it doesn't really matter. Bottom line is this, just like I'm going to put in the title. That's what this is all about. If Yordenis Ugas is just a regular champion, he's not a champion, right? Because Pacquiao is, then Canelo is not a 4 division champion because Roy Fielding is the same as Yordenis Ugas. So we can't have both. So you guys got to take your pick. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.